Hello, dear viewers and listeners. When we eat at a restaurant, to what extent are our choices determined by our own preferences, and to what extent by the restaurant's efforts? Efforts that may go unnoticed by us but are deliberate and purposeful. My name is Monica Kuzminskaita. I'm a health and nutrition psychologist, and this is my podcast, Spoonful of Reason. Choices never happen in an information vacuum or just in our heads. Let's talk about how we can help ourselves choose the kind of food we want. Healthier, more organic, cheaper, higher quality, or reflecting any other values of our own without actually limiting our freedom of choice. Restaurants also study psychology and have been applying principles of behavioral science and sensory perception for decades to nudge us toward certain decisions. So, what are they? First, the primacy and recency rule. The first and last items in a menu category have a huge advantage. They are chosen most often. This rule also applies to many other choices from a list. Moreover, we remember them much longer and more accurately. In a menu, moving a dish to the beginning or end can increase the likelihood of it being chosen by up to 5 times. Default option, fries or salad. This is second point. Pre-selected options require no mental effort, making them much more appealing. By changing the default option, you can create one of the most powerful self-help tools for yourself. As in thinking, I always eat this and that. Number three, visual appeal. Eye tracking studies show that when looking at a menu that falls into two or three sections, we tend to look first at the upper right corner. This is where restaurants usually place their most profitable or signature dish. These are often highlighted with borders, colors, or distinctive fonts to ensure that this option wins the top spot. Number four, the most expensive item. We rarely choose the most expensive dish unless we are doing so to draw attention both of our own and others to our means. Similarly, we might avoid the cheapest dish to save face. However, the most often role of the most expensive dish is to establish a perceived price ceiling and nudge us towards choosing the second most expensive dish, which begins to seem a very good price to value ratio, regardless of its actual price. Number five, verbal cues. Listen, slow roasted heirloom tomatoes from Tuscany doesn't sound the same as roasted tomatoes. Such a description fundamentally changes how the dish is perceived. Studies show that detailed, evocative descriptions can boost sales by up to 27%, and customers who choose these items rate the food as significantly tastier and feel better about paying more for it. Now, would you like to learn how the latest research findings in this field are helping developers of online food ordering apps and assisting people in choosing more sustainable food options? It's no longer news that our restaurant is actually an app on our phone, and even in brick and mortar restaurants, we often find digital menus. A digital menu doesn't have a top right corner, but moving a dish to the top of a category list still increases its selection rate since we rate it first anyway. By moving a more sustainable dish to the top, users are also more satisfied and don't feel deprived when choosing the sustainable alternative. Specific placement on the menu is particularly strong factor when there is little time to choose, and its influence weakens when we choose carefully. Having second thoughts is actually a self correction mechanism. Public health initiatives have also begun to use more complex strategies and stack multiple nudges, for example, by changing product placement, reducing package size, and making the healthy choice the default option. This way, the healthier choice becomes almost unnoticeable, so requires no effort. How do you like the idea that you can take as much control into your own hands as you want? I'm sure restaurants are generally trying their best, and we do choose restaurants based on how much we like them and their overall menu and their attitude to the consumers. But understanding the structure of your own choice will help strengthen your sense of inner control and reduce anxiety about making the right choice. And that's never a bad idea. First, take a look at what you usually order as usual. It is not necessarily the best choice, but it's the easiest, so it might win. If necessary, choose a different usual. Start using a deliberate pause before deciding or ordering food on the app. Wait 2 minutes to give your slower, more critical thinking time to process the information. Number three, when reading the menu, deliberately start from the middle. This will better reflect your own desires rather what the restaurant is trying to suggest based on its own incentives. Number four, commit to the choice you've made in advance. It is much harder to choose when we're hungry and already seated at the restaurant. So, if possible, browse the menu online beforehand and make your choice when you're full and calm. That way, choosing the at the restaurant won't require any effort and will be the most likely choice. Further, in my longer text posts, I will share the links to the five most recent and most significant scientific studies on this topic, as well as the recommendation of three books that you might read and investigate the matter even deeper. That's all the on the restaurant choice psychology for this week. My name is Monica Kuzminskaite. I'm health and nutrition psychologist. I help to deal with simple and complicated issues around emotions, behaviors, and thinking. I write, I give lectures, and I provide psychological counseling. You will find the link to register for a counseling session in the comments of each post, and you will find my posts on social media, searching either for my name or for keyword spoonful of reason. If you have any comments or questions, drop me a message. Otherwise, wishing all of you peace.